Hi, if you're listening to me right now, that means you're alive. Your heart is beating, your blood is rushing through your veins, and you are in possession of your greatest asset, your health. That's right, your health is your greatest asset. If you don't have it, you don't have anything. It doesn't matter how much money you have, how many properties you may own, crypto, gold, silver. If you don't have health, you can't enjoy any of it. I have today my special guest, Mr. Les Brown, who's a legend who can definitely talk to you about the importance of your health. Mr. Les Brown, how are you?
I'm blessed and highly favored. I'm cancer free, I'm debt free, and drama free.
Well, I'm so glad of that. You were diagnosed with prostate cancer when, Mr. Brown?
39 years ago, I received the Cancer Center of America Award of Perseverance. 39 years, fourth stage prostate cancer. I'm here because of God's grace and mercy.
Absolutely. You are a champion on and off the stage. On the stage, because you empower and inspire individuals to embrace a larger vision of themselves. And then off the stage, you encourage individuals to eat right, exercise, and also take natural products. Can you share with the audience why you have such stamina? I remember when I met you, it was so funny. You had a suitcase full of vitamins, a suitcase full of books, and a little section where you had your clothes. And
Yeah,
I thought it was hilarious. Your vitamins outweighed everything else.
yes, because we don't have all the nutrients that we need in our food so that we can maintain a strong immune system. And so now I have a bag full of the three products because I've come to know that it's not what you take, it's what you absorb.
Mm,
And we're living in a time when you look at the increase of cancer has been dramatic. And many people are dying from cancer, not just because of what they eat, but because of what's eating them. And so
mm,
part of what I believe is being drama free, eliminate and reduce the level of stress in your life. That many people are in toxic, negative relationships that's affecting their health. I remember reading a book called Who's the Matter with Me?
mm.
And so many people are dying not just because of what they eat, but because of what's eating them. And the other thing that's very important is having peace. When you have peace and you have harmony with your spirituality, harmony with yourself, with your family and friends, and living a life that's purpose driven, and you have joy. And joy does not mean the absence of challenges, but joy teaches you how to live your life from the inside out. And that's very important. Controlling and managing your emotions, looking at your relationships and asking the questions, who should I count on and who should I count out? And there's a quote by Dr. Howard Thurman, who was a mentor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Albert Schweitzer and Mahatma Gandhi. And he said there are two primary questions that one must ask oneself in life. Number one, where am I going? Number two, who's going with me? And he said, if you ever ask those questions in the wrong order, you'll be in serious trouble. Where most of us, and I know I did, I was focusing on who was going with me. And once I discovered where I wanted to go with my life, the person that I had selected, we grew apart. And many people listening to us right now are in relationships where they're dying together rather than living together. And so this is a time where you want to be consciously conscious of, first of all, the consumption, the things that you listen to, because what you pay attention to, it affects you mentally and emotionally and spiritually and psychologically. I'm putting myself on a fast from my telephone because there's some craziness in this world that you just don't want to look at. And it's hypnotic. It grabs you. And before you know it, there goes a second. There goes 15 minutes. There goes an hour. And so now my goal is not just to say, keep thine eye single. My goal is to keep my eye focused on things that contribute to my health, to my mental well being, positive relationships with myself, with my family, and with my friends, and being able to live a life of contribution, to do what Dr. Miles Monroe said, live full and die empty.
I can absolutely say you are doing both living full, and when you leave here, you will die empty because you're constantly empowering individuals to do the best for themselves so that they can be a blessing to other people. Now, when was it that when you were diagnosed, how did you come about being diagnosed? Because one in eight men are diagnosed with prostate cancer, and over 240,000 women a year are diagnosed with breast cancer. And not only that, we're talking about cancer, but did you know that every 40 seconds somebody's having a heart attack?
Oh, yes. And so having an exercise regimen, a healthy choice of food that you want to avoid, uh, living to eat, but to eat to live. And I was waging in New York a a prostate cancer awareness week, and I was participating. And so I had a doctor who was working with me, and he asked me, "You're encouraging men to have a prostate examination. Have you had one?" At that time, I was 52. I said, "No." He said, "Don't ask people to do something that you have not done." I said,
Mm.
"Okay, I'll come in and I'll take the test." And I did. And then 3 days later, he called me. He said, "I want you to come in." And there was a serious tone in his voice. "We need to talk." And I said, "Look, I'm a big boy. Talk to me now." He said, "Mr. Brown, you have prostate cancer." Wow, that was a shock. And there's a quote that I read the other day that I want people to listen to very, very closely, because during that time I was on top of the world. I was doing all kinds of things, and I had all kind of projects and dreams I wanted to achieve. And this quote read, "A man with his health has 1,000 dreams, but a man without his health only has one." Boom.
Wow.
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 Up in here, up in here. And so this is a time that people need to be focused on taking care of you. Now, I'm encouraging people to have a season of no. Most people
Mm.
never achieve taking care of their health and having peace and harmony and love in their lives because they are caught up in other people's stuff. My mother had a sign on her mirror that said, "Oh Lord, help me keep my long nose out of other people's business." And so I'm taking care of me. I'm 79 and I have 79 years behind me and all of God before me. And my goal is to take care of myself, to be independent. I'm not looking for my children to be a burden to them. I'm going to take care of me. I'm going to be able to wipe my own behind at 100 years and feed myself and know my name.
Wow.
So you have to be engaged in this thing called life. If you don't use your mind, you will lose your mind. And be proactive and surround yourself with people that's going in the direction that you're going. And that is living a purpose driven life, having positive relationships and connections with people that are motivated and inspired and have goals and dreams. And you work together, helping each other, collaborative, achievement driven, supportive relationships is very important in this thing called life.
It absolutely is important. I know we've traveled the world internationally, nationally, and I remember the last time I wind up sick, I went to the hospital. I was like passed out, and my dear friend, your son Calvin, said, "Val, you all right?" And I'm like, I feel like I'm going to pass out. And he said, "You need to go to the hospital." And when I said yes, he got that car, and he got there smoking, like he said, "I got to protect Val." But this is what happens, Mr. Brown. we spend a lot of time worrying about other individuals' health, and we forget about our own most of the times. You'll tell somebody else to go get your annual physical, but then you won't get your annual physical. So, how important is it for individuals to, be proactive to do that?
Dr. Valerie, we must not just be a messenger, we must also be the message. There's a saying, practice what you preach, but I believe preach what you practice. When you consider all the craziness that's going on now, politically, in the religious community, the
Yes.
violence, when what's going on with our young people, all kinds of things are taking place right now, and we must be proactive and decisive and disciplined to take care of ourselves. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, I appreciate you stopping by, Mr. Brown. I know your schedule is busy, and I know this
Yes,
because I book you.
yes,
So
yes.
I know your schedule is tight, and I want individuals to email me your name and phone number at drvalparker@gmail.com. That's drvalparker@gmail.com. And I will share with you some of the products that we're using. I'm 65, and God has been good to me. I remember going through my domestic violence situation. I was praying that it all ended when I was 30 years old. But then I heard the voice of Mr. Brown. Matter of fact, I had never heard a voice like yours before, except for Dr. Martin Luther King, because I'm a church girl. So I
Mhm.
never heard anyone speak about life. You said in order to be successful, you must be willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. And when
Yeah.
you spoke that, it was like a light went off in my entire being. And I knew at that moment I wanted more. So if you want more and want to live an extensive life, you got to participate. And I want you to email me at drvalparker@gmail.com. And I will share some of the things Mr. Brown does in order to keep looking so dapper.
At 79. Come on, somebody. Listen,
Woo!
I've got a doctor's appointment. Bye for now.
Bye bye, Mr. Brown. Thank you so much.
Yes.